Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Smart Start Recreational Therapy Insights by Smart CU's Hub. I'm your host, Nathan Lemaster, the founder of Smart CU's Hub, and I am so excited that you have been watching these, or maybe this is just your first episode. But each episode, we're talking about various topics related to recreational therapy. So whether you are a recreational therapist and you are wanting to learn more about recreational therapy and what's going on in the field, or on the other side, you are a consumer or a politician or somebody else that wants to know more about what recreational therapy is, well, these videos that we've been putting out will be a great resource for you to learn along the way. So we are on to episode number 46. And today we are talking about data collection and outcome management. So this is how you collect the data, how you measure outcomes for recreational therapy programs to decide what you're going to do if you're going to change anything. And it's not just about taking attendance. That isn't the only thing you're tracking, right? It's about proving our value, improving client outcomes, and justifying our services to administrators, insurers, and community partners. So why outcome measurement matters in recreational therapy? Okay, as healthcare and human services become more data-driven, RTs must demonstrate their effectiveness. Measuring outcomes then shows how client goals are being met. So if we aren't showing the client goals are being met through data, there's a higher chance that insurance would not reimburse the hospital or wherever we're working at for this service because they don't see what it's doing for the client. Okay, measuring outcomes also shows the impact of specific interventions. So you can see, like, if this intervention is really good and it has a pretty high success rate with a specific thing you're working on with a client, then you might want to have that in your RT toolkit. You could take that out there and you could use that more often. Or if there's one that isn't working so well, you can retire that one and replace it with something else, right? But you need that data to know if it's working or not. Okay, so measuring outcomes also shows where adjustments are needed for better results. The value of recreational therapy to stakeholders. Okay, so honestly, if you're going to be talking to somebody in government and you're going to be talking to them about the possibility of getting a bill signed or something changed in Medicare or something to do with insurance or something else that affects us as recreational therapists, we need this data to show them how successful these programs actually are in achieving the goals that we're working on. Same with businesses. If you're trying to get grants from them, if you're a nonprofit, you want to have these data points showing that the service that you're providing as this nonprofit is actually making a big difference, right? Data isn't just about numbers. It's a powerful storytelling tool that helps us advocate for our clients and our field. All right, now to decide what we should be measuring in RT. Okay, depending on your setting and your population, here are some common areas to measure. Functional improvements, right? That could be physical, cognitive, emotional, social improvements, right? Goal attainment, you can measure success of attaining the goals that are set for clients. You can measure quality of life or well-being of the client. Make sure that that's in your data that you're tracking. Participation rates and behavior changes, skills development, and then even community reintegration progress. Like, are they getting ready to go back out into the real world? Are they able to function out there? Okay, so you're going to make sure your measurements that you take align with your treatment goals and the client's individualized care plan that you've created. All right, tools and methods for data collection. So this is how we can collect this data. Here are several methods. One is pre and post assessment, so taking an assessment before doing an intervention, for instance, and one after doing it to measure what was accomplished during that intervention and how the client felt afterwards. Okay, goal attainment scaling. So this would be rate the extent of which individual goals are being achieved. Okay, surveys and self-reports. Those are great for getting client satisfaction, client perceptions of what has happened, all of those things. Those are really important. Observational checklists, document behavioral indicators, engagement during sessions, and then outcome dashboards using simple charts or spreadsheets to visualize trends, right? These are all great tools that we can use. All right, pro tip, use consistent tools across clients and groups so that you can aggregate the information for program-wide analysis. All right, some tips for effective data collection. So keep it simple, okay? If your method is too complicated, it won't be sustainable, okay? Collect data consistently before, during, and after programs. Make sure your tools are reliable and culturally appropriate. Include qualitative data. Use quotes, stories, and case notes matter too. And don't forget to close the loop. Use the data to inform treatment adjustments. Whether you're in a hospital, school, or community setting, good data fuels better care. All right, what do you do with data now? Okay, so once you collect the data, your data can be used for justifying continued services, demonstrating compliance with accreditation standards, writing progress summaries or discharge reports, informing future programming changes. And you can also use it to present to stakeholders or community partners so that you can maybe secure a grant. Okay, bonus, you can even submit your outcome data to conferences or journals that contribute to the broader RT evidence-based practice. All right, a wrap up and takeaways from today. To sum this up, data collection is not optional, it's essential, right? It helps prove what we do. Okay, focus on what matters most, and that's client centered outcomes. Choose tools that are reliable, relevant, and manageable. Not too crazy, keep it simple. Okay, use your data to advocate, to improve programs, and to inspire. Okay, you don't have to be a statistician. Just stay curious, consistent, and committed to evidence based practice. All right, folks, thank you so much for watching this episode. Tell me some of the ways in the comment section that you are collecting data that you could put to use later down the line and what you're going to use that data for. That would be really interesting to see. Okay, so next week for episode 47, we'll be taking a look on how to manage volunteers. So those of us that have work at a place where we're going to have volunteers working for the organization and we're in charge of managing them, which happens quite often, right? We'll be looking at how to manage volunteers and student interns effectively in recreational therapy. So guys, if you want to see that and you want that notification in your inbox, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, and hit that like button on this video to get content like this every single week. We put a new episode out every single Monday at 7 a.m. Central. And folks, I hope you have a great rest of your week. And as always, recreational therapists, stay classy.